Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared. Never was anything great achieved without danger. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. He who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar. Appear as you may wish to be. I'm not interested in preserving the status quo. I want to overthrow it. Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. Of mankind, we may say in general, they are fickle, hypocritical, and greedy of gain. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. One should never fall in the belief that you can find someone to pick you up. Nature creates few men brave. Industry and training makes many. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. How we live is so different from how we ought to live that he who studies what ought to be done rather than what is done will learn the way to his downfall rather than to his preservation. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must, therefore, be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. Wisdom consists of knowing how to distinguish the nature of trouble, and in choosing the lesser evil. Therefore, it is necessary to be a fox to discover the snares, and a lion to terrify the wolves. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. Men are so simple of mind, and so much dominated by their immediate needs, that a deceitful man will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived. Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. A man who is used to acting in one way never changes. He must come to ruin when the times, in changing, no longer are in harmony with his ways. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. He who builds on the people builds on the mud. There is nothing more important than appearing to be religious. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. There is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of your enemy. He who becomes a prince through the favor of the people should always keep on good terms with them. which it is easy for him to do, since all they ask is not to be oppressed. In conclusion, the arms of others either fall from your back, or they weigh you down, or they bind you fast. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are. Men never do good unless necessity drives them to it. But when they are free to choose and can do just as they please, confusion and disorder become rampant. The incredulity of mankind who do not truly believe in anything new until they have had actual experience of it. The best fortress which a prince can possess is the affection of his people. For one change always leaves a dovetail into which another will fit. A prince is also esteemed when he is a true friend and a true enemy. I hold strongly to this, that it is better to be impetuous than circumspect, because fortune is a woman, and if she is to be submissive, it is necessary to beat and coerce her. Is it better to be loved or feared? The fact is that a man who wants to act virtuous in every way necessarily comes to grief among so many who are not virtuous. Therefore, the best fortress is to be found in the love of the people, for although you may have fortresses, they will not save you if you are hated by the people. Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. For whoever believes that great advancement and new benefits make men forget old injuries is mistaken. God creates men, but they choose each other. All the states and governments by which men are or ever have been ruled have been and are either republics or princedoms. Men should be either treated generously or destroyed, because they take revenge for slight injuries, for heavy ones they cannot. Men intrinsically do not trust new things that they have not experienced themselves. He who is highly esteemed is not easily conspired against,